Hi, I'm Jenny. Welcome to Jenny's Greenhouse. In this video, I'm going to be talking about front gardens and their health benefits. I hope you've found this channel and that you like what I'm doing on this channel. Please do like and subscribe, give it a thumbs up, watch to the end. All these things help the algorithms and help others to find the channel. Thank you. Front gardens in the UK, like I suppose in a lot of places, have become paved over. They are no longer the floral delights that I grew up with as a child. And they are places where they're bin stores, they're car parks, they're litter havens because we're getting more winds which are blowing litter around. So even if we're not actually creating the litter ourselves, others will be creating it for us. And I know in my own front garden, collecting litter is almost a daily task. And, you know, with the stronger winds, and those front gardens become even bleaker. There's nothing to stop the wind, there's no barriers, there's no hedges. And so they become quite alien spaces. And now they reckon that over 3 million gardens in London alone have been paved over. And just think about the amount of water just running off those paved areas. No wonder there's localised flooding. There's nowhere for it to go. It has to go into the sewers, and as soon as it goes into the sewers, it causes all the sewerage problems that we know about there. And we're getting a wetter climate. There's no two ways about that. As the seas warm up, we're going to be dumped with more rain. We're a maritime climate. We are at the behest of those seas that surround us as an island. For 20 years now, it's been known that there are health benefits of having green spaces. And in particular, people like green spaces with trees. And for some reason or other, we've got that affinity with trees. And if we like trees, then why don't we put some more back in our front gardens? And I'm not talking about big oak trees or big elm trees. I'm talking about fruit trees that will give us some benefit, or if you don't want to pick it, let the wildlife pick it and give them some benefit. But also that these are places that the trees now can be grown on dwarf rooting stock, and hence aren't such big trees. You know, growing to about 2 meters is quite usual for fruit trees these days. And they've been grown that way for commercial purposes as much as ours, because they're easier to pick if they're shorter trees. But it's also been known that good green spaces reduces crime. And I'll put some references to these articles below in the description box, because for those who really want to read academic articles, but there is evidence that criminals, that areas with green spaces creates more social cohesion, more people looking out for each other. And where you have good green spaces and social cohesion, the criminals move on. They're looking for places of neglect where people don't care. They're looking for the spaces where, you know, broken glass, broken windows, litter, anything that shows that people don't really care about their area. That's when the criminals will move in. So gardens for cars don't need to be totally paved over. And by adding some design features, some gravel and let's say railway sleepers to hold the gravel, makes places where passengers can get in and out of cars without going through the gravel. But it also means that it adds some interest when the car isn't there. And cars often go into gardens at an angle. So there's often places where, corners for instance, where plants could be grown. And that, you know, that would make such a big difference to our neighbourhoods and to things like wind and runoff. Greener front gardens have benefits for our neighbours as well. And the more green spaces we have around us, the better our mental health. And we are now suffering serious mental health problems. And that's without the additives in petrol. When we removed lead from petrol, we added lithium, and that isn't good. Anybody who's bipolar will know that they're taking lithium. Now, if you don't have bipolar, what's lithium doing to us all? There's some questions that nobody's asking and nobody's really investigating, or if they are, they're keeping it very quiet from the press. But irrespective of what's going on in terms of the nitrous and other oxides that come out of the back end of cars, by having greenery, it's proven to reduce noise, it's proven to clean up air, reduce dust in the atmosphere, all these things, all these health benefits. So why wouldn't we have nice green front gardens? There's proof, for instance, that anxiety, depression, stress are all reduced with more green spaces around people. Lowered aggression, improved mental fatigue are also benefits. And the ability to watch gardens grow, even if it's not your own, and develop an interest in what's going on in somebody's garden. It makes that path to work so much easier, so much more enjoyable. You know, you can be nosy without actually, getting too into the garden. You can see what's going on, and you can see the flowers growing. And we haven't yet touched on the physical benefits of gardening, and they're quite good as well. And it's recommended that gardening 2 or 3 times a week. And I'm not talking about excessive, digging over a 10-foot plot or whatever. I'm talking about the sort of creative side, creating a new flower bed, planting seeds, doing the general, what I would call lower level activity, but actually just getting people physically moving. That's what the benefit of gardening is about. Going out and deadheading the roses and the other flowers in the summer. You're getting around, you're moving, you're looking at things, you're engaging with things. It's all good for your mental health, it's all good for your physical health. In 2021, the Royal Horticultural Society science team and others did some research, or in fact before 2021, because the paper came out in 2021. But there was a mix of UK and US researchers along with the Royal Horticultural Society science team, and they asked why garden, attitudes and the perceived health benefits of home gardening. And they asked over 6,000 UK gardeners for their views. And what came out was that over 50% of them said they garden for pleasure and enjoyment. Health benefits came in third, after sensory benefits, and fourth was seeing plants grow. So essentially, what we're interested in is gardening to please ourselves. We want to see things grow, we want to be creative, and we want to enjoy being outside. Wonderful. The 2 lowest scores came in about what community was thinking about and what the house appearance looked like. So we aren't doing it for the house or what our neighbours think. We're doing it for ourselves. And that's got to be good. If our front gardens face if our front gardens face south, there's even more reason for us to want to make them places to be able to sit and enjoy the outdoors. Our climate here in the UK is cool enough that any north-facing back garden will be cool for most of the year. And that's not helpful in terms of sunlight, unless the garden is long enough to escape the shade cast by the house. And putting a bench, a few pots of plants, taking up a few of the paving slabs, planting a few trees and a few flowers will really help. Adding a bin store if you can afford to do that, or creating one out of pallets and other things, also helps. And putting a green roof on that would even help even more. So there's a lot people can do. It's just having the will and the inclination to get off the sofa and do it.